the real original Buddhism that the Buddha taught remained only 100 years. After 100 years, the monks didn't understand the teachings in the proper way and also didn't have the desire to practice the teachings. So they wanted to change the Vinaya rules. Vinaya rules are the rules for the monks. They wanted to change the rules. But there are a few senior monks who said, no, we cannot change the Vinaya rules. But they wanted to change the Vinaya rules, and they said, in that case, we'll take a vote. The Buddha has not prohibited the monks from taking votes. So the senior monk said, well, if you want to take a vote, you can take a vote. And they took a vote, and what happened? Those who wanted to break the rules won. Because there were more people who wanted to change the rules than the people who wanted to maintain the rules. But another problem comes up when that is done, because the monks had to depend on the lay followers to get their requisites: food, clothing, shelter, and medicine. So if the lay followers begin to think that these are bad monks, they won't be giving these things. So they had to somehow give a reason why they wanted to break the rules. So there was a monk who was fairly intelligent to find a good excuse, and then he said, these senior monks want to practice the Vinaya rules because they want to become arahants. The aim of the teaching of the Buddha was to make people arahants. And an arahant is a person who is free from mental sickness. So, if you want to be free of mental sickness, then you have to take the proper medicine. Now, if you go to a hospital and there are patients who are being treated for something, and the patients don't like to take that medicine, and then they take a vote, and the patients who don't want to take the medicine win in the vote, what will happen? And if they stop giving the medicine, what will happen? The similar thing happens here. If the monks don't practice the Vinaya rules, then they can't become arahants. That means they can't be healed from the mental sickness. But they said these senior monks who want to maintain the Vinaya rules want to become arahants. And becoming arahants is a selfish thing. We don't want to become arahants, we want to become Buddhas. And to become a Buddha is an unselfish thing. Because we are trying to help you people all, not just to help myself and become arahants. So those people thought, that means they want to become Buddhas, that is good, then we'll support them. You see, they couldn't understand that if these people can't practice the Vinaya rules, how can they practice the more difficult paramitas to become a Buddha? They didn't think like that. So they supported, and that is how those people who wanted to become Buddhas were called Mahayana. And those who wanted to become Arahants were called Theravada. So from that time onwards, the teaching of the Buddha gradually got lost. Because there were arguments and debates and things like that, interpreting the teaching in different ways. So that is how it gradually disappeared. So today we have different forms of Buddhism: Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana, Pure Land, Zen, and all kinds of Buddhisms. So it is the time when people become interested in the real teachings of the Buddha, they should try to find out the original teachings and the meaning of the teachings of the Buddha. Very few people have devoted their time for that purpose. But fortunately, a few Western people became interested in the teachings of the Buddha, and they are the people who translated the sutras, and we still have the English translations. Yet, even those English people who translated, they had to depend on the Theravadins who preserved the original teachings in memory. One good thing that happened was they maintained the teachings in memory, although they didn't really understand what they maintained. The words were kept. And fortunate thing is that if people begin to read these sutras and try to understand some well-educated, intelligent people who begin to read this can understand to some extent what the Buddha is trying to say. So that is what today the Buddhists should be doing. Now, I am just one of the people who became interested in doing this, and I have been trying to understand, and that is how I have been translating these things in a different way. The different translation means that I have understood the Dhamma in a different way. And I am trying to express that by using different words. Because the words that the English translators have been using doesn't convey the message. So at least some of you who have read or heard about my explanation and who appreciated this, you have come to learn. So that is the meaning of this meditation. If you do the meditation in the proper way, you will be able to somehow gain some understanding.